Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the officer in charge, Major Christopher M. Gilport, welcome to Marine Aviation Logistics Squadron 41's retirement ceremony, in which Master Gunnery Sergeant Michael R. Beauchamp will retire after 30 years of honorable and faithful service. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Gunnery Sergeant Paulson. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation given by Pastor Aaron Lata.
Almighty God, we thank you for the honor of this wonderful occasion to celebrate 30 years for Master Gunnery Sergeant Michael R. Beauchamp, serving in the Marines, serving the United States of America, serving our world. Lord, we thank you for giving him the grace and the endurance to serve. We thank you, Lord, for his family, and we thank you, Lord, that he leaves the military in good shape. Lord, we ask for your blessing upon this service. May we ever be mindful of our need for your wisdom, your guidance, your provision, and your protection. In Jesus' name, we honor you at the beginning of this ceremony. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, now taking his position in the reviewing area is the retiring official for today's ceremony, Major Christopher M. Gilport.
Morning, sir. Mariner decorated, retired. Center! March! Sir, Marine duty decorated, retired. Present. Take post. Aye, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem. Please be seated. Attention orders. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Meritorious Service Medal, Gold Star in lieu of Second Award to Master Gunnery Sergeant Michael R. Beauchamp, United States Marine Corps. For outstanding meritorious service while serving as Aircraft Maintenance Chief, Marine Aviation Logistics Squadron 41, Marine Aircraft Group 41, from August 2018 to August 2020. During this period, Master Gunnery Sergeant Beauchamp's superior leadership and technical acumen were instrumental to the mission accomplishment of both Marine Aviation Logistics Squadron and Marine Aircraft Group 41, as he executed the manpower, management, and staffing goals for 7 different type model series aircraft within 6 operational squadrons. He provided sage guidance and direction that shaped all aviation maintenance manpower moves within the group, addressed current and future manning issues, and ensured the continuity of qualifications and availability of maintenance capacity to the group and squadron commanding officers. Under his vigilant leadership and team-building expertise, Marine Aviation Logistics Squadron 41's maintenance department completed more than 137,000 maintenance man-hours, representing over 32,000 maintenance actions in support of dynamic flight operations that contributed directly to the readiness of all the squadrons supported by Marine Aircraft Group 41. His devotion to duty and dedication to his Marines and sailors during this tour is the hallmark of a career devoted to accomplishing broad and diverse assignments, both in combat and in peace. Master Gunnery Sergeant Beauchamp's superior performance of duties culminated his 30 years of honorable and dedicated military service. Master Gunnery Sergeant Beauchamp's professionalism, perseverance, and loyal dedication to duty reflected great credit on him and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. Signed, T.L. Adams, Brigadier General, U.S. Marine Corps Reserve, Commanding General, 4th Marine Aircraft Range. Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents greetings, this is to certify that Master Gunnery Sergeant Michael R. Beauchamp, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Marine Corps on the first day of November 2020. Signed, David H. Berger, Commandant of the Marine Corps. Certificate of Appreciation. For service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Master Gunnery Sergeant Michael R. Beauchamp, USMC. I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of our grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of the military service. I trust that in the coming years you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces and the purpose for which you served. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of our American freedoms. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Donald J. Trump, Commander-in-Chief. Dear Master Gunnery Sergeant Beauchamp, the Marine Corps has been your profession for the last 30 years, and you have served with distinction. Many aspire to be a Master Gunnery Sergeant, but those who achieve it are few, and they must clearly demonstrate the exceptional leadership qualities we have come to expect of our senior Marines. You have reason to be proud of your most successful career. As a teacher to young Marines, a source of wise counsel, and as an example of those solidarity virtues we so admire, you have made a mark on the Corps that will remain long after you have left our active ranks. There are many young Marines you have influenced who will carry on in the same fine tradition that has always characterized the United States Marine Corps. You have my best wishes for good health and continued success in the years ahead. Semper Fidelis. Signed, David H. Berger, General, U.S. Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps. The Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. Dear Master Gunnery Sergeant Beauchamp, on the occasion of your retirement, I would like to extend my congratulations and heartfelt thanks for your many years of dedicated service and selfless devotion to our country and Corps. You have made tremendous contributions and sacrifices throughout your Marine Corps career. As you prepare to enter this new chapter of your life, you can look back with the immense pride and satisfaction on all you have accomplished. You have set an example of professionalism and leave a standard of excellence for all Marines who will carry on the legacy of our Corps. My wife, Stacy, joins me in wishing you continued success in the future. Semper Fidelis. Signed, Troy E. Black, 19th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. Dear Master Gunnery Sergeant Beauchamp, it is an honor to join your family, friends, and fellow service members in thanking you for 30 years of distinguished service in the United States Marine Corps. As you look forward to the next chapter in your life, I hope you will reflect on and be proud of all that you have achieved. 3 decades ago, you raised your right hand, swearing to uphold our Constitution's promise of liberty and dedicated yourself to the support of our great nation. The promises you made were fulfilled when you served your assignments as well as in your pursuit of excellence in all of the work you have done. Your dedication to the security of the United States and the commitment to your fellow service members has made an impact that will be felt for generations. Your leadership and commitment to the defense of our nation has earned our admiration and gratitude. The citizens of this great country are forever indebted to our service members for the freedom and liberty that you provide. I wish you all the best as you transition to the next phase of your life. If I ever may be of any assistance to you or your family, please do not hesitate to contact me. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Sincerely, Ted Cruz, United States Senator. Master Gunnery Sergeant Beauchamp's wife, Katie, will now be presented with a certificate of appreciation for her dedicated care and support for the past 20 years. Certificate of Appreciation, United States Marine Corps. To all who shall see these presense greetings, this is to certify that Mrs. Catherine Elizabeth Beauchamp has earned grateful appreciation for her unselfish, faithful, and devoted service, not only serving as a United States Marine, but during her husband's Marine Corps career as well. Your unfailing support, dedication, and understanding helps make possible your husband's lasting contribution to the Corps and his command. We fully realize that your support and understanding has not been provided without hardship and sacrifice during your husband's tours of duty. On behalf of the Marine Corps and MALS 41, we thank you for your continued contributions to your Marine and our mission. Given this 11th day of September 2020, signed Cheryl L. Grosso, Lieutenant Colonel, USMCR, Commanding Officer, MALS 41, MAG 41. Major Christopher M. Dilport.
How's everybody doing? So 19 years ago today, very sad day in our nation's history, but now we're going to complement that with a great day today, celebrating the Marine Corps career of Michael Beauchamp, a distinguished career. A lot of people don't remember where they were 19 years ago. A lot of you probably weren't even born, or just devil pups at the time. Mike Beauchamp, he was born in the 20s, so he was probably 40 years old. Other than that, it's a well-chosen day to do this ceremony, I think, to make something glorious out of something that was so sad. But let me talk a little bit about Mike real quick. So if you read all the words that you just heard about his distinguished career, think about the Master Gunnery Sergeant rank for a second. So a lot of people, you could look at somebody and see the rank on their collar and see what they're capable of. For the most part, you can do that. But here we got a guy at the top of the food chain, Master Gunnery Sergeant, which means he's a master of his trade. So what Mike has done, he's been everything that his MOS has asked him to be, with a little bit of B-billets on the side. But we have flatline mechanic. He's a skid kid. Those guys are crazy, right? I mean, skid kids are not sane at all. I know some skid kids are believe that. But they're not sane at all. And it goes, you just look at him, he's not a sane guy. He'll always be a friend of mine, though. But he was flatline, crew chief, maintenance controller, quality assurance, maintenance chief, MALS maintenance chief, on and on, instructor, teacher, mentor. So for a guy like me, who's been around, 1619s my entire life, at the position I'm in now, and the Sergeant Major can attest to this too, because I know I talk to Colonel Atkinson about all the time, but that E9 that's with you, that is the guy who runs the show, and that's the guy who takes care of you. Essentially, like Colonel Atkinson, that's your bodyguard. And working with Mike Beauchamp, he was my bodyguard. Like, when I'm doing something stupid, which was a lot of things, right? He would say, "Sir, you can't do that. You have to do this." "Oh shit, sorry, I'm sorry about that." "Sir, you got to be here at this time." All that stuff, just taking care of me. And I wouldn't have been able to do all that if it wasn't for Mike Beauchamp, so I really appreciate that. So, this is kind of funny. Last year Marine Corps Ball, we were sitting with Mike and Katie at the table, and I could not believe it. He has not tailored his uniform since boot camp. He has been this cracked skinny since the day he was there. So, because I'm a smart aleck, I have to come up with some skinny jokes, right? So bear with me for a second. I had to Google this stuff, and I had to pick the ones that wouldn't make the house fall in. All right, so here we go. You ready? Master Guns is so skinny, he can hang glide on a Dorito. Master Guns is so skinny, he hula hoops with a Cheerio. Master Guns is so skinny, when he turns sideways, he disappears. That's all. I'll stop busting your chops, man.
I also wanted to clean the raindrops.
But all all joking aside, when Katie told me that, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, because I don't know about you guys, but my uniform's been shrinking over the years. It's not big, it's been shrinking. But he managed to not tailor his uniform since he's been in. But, so, now, I would say now, Mike, the fun begins. And Katie, like I mentioned up here, now you gotta put up with him 24 hours a day. So we're gonna hand him back to you. And he's a handful. So, he's always in it. He's always taking care of Marines. He's always a teacher, taking care of the CO, and making things run for the Mouse ever since I've been here. And I've certainly appreciated and benefited from his leadership. But the bottom line, Mike, is you're going to be missed. You're always welcome back here anytime, like they say all the time. You're a Marine to the day you die. And a guy like you is going to be around forever. So maybe once in a while you might get a letter in the mail saying, hey, you're going to be our guest of honor for Marine Corps Ball. And you will show up. So, like I said, you know, he's been in maintenance his entire life. I know you're going to do great things. Whatever your endeavor is, you're a great teacher, you're a great mechanic, a great mentor. I appreciate everything you've done for me. And good luck to you, brother. I have no worries about you whatsoever. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Master Gunnery Sergeant Beauchamp.
Thanks for that, sir. I appreciate that very much. You know, this is going to be so hard. For 3 decades, I've been a troop in a retirement, I've been a narrator, been an escort, I've been commander of troops, done all of it.
And I always think what your retirement's going to be like when it's time to retire. And you know, global pandemic never even dawned on me that it'd be that, but it's just the way that it just exemplifies the Marine Corps. Like, we're going to figure out a way to make it happen no matter what the circumstances. And so for Master Gunnery Sergeant Herbst, Mike, I really appreciate you doing this and setting this all up. Sergeant Major Taylor, thank you for allowing this to go down. Appreciate it. I've never written a speech ever. I've never written anything down. I just kind of, it is what it is. And I've always been that way because I feel like, and I'm glad that it's a smaller group because it's more personal to me. I always try to speak from the heart so that what I'm saying is coming naturally and it's not teleprompted or written down. So the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to reach out to the Marines that weren't able to make it. Mike Gauthier, you're the finest Marine that I've ever served with in my entire life, and one of the finest human beings I've ever known. And I also want to thank Greg Harton, Rick Villegas, Vince Hinojosa, Andy Suchard, Jamie Porter, Ronald Mitchell, Wayne Height. There's just so many Marines that were part of my career that I'm never going to be able to thank all of them. I know I'm going to miss someone, but just know that if I served with you, you will reside deep in my heart because every Marine has touched my life in one way or the other. I knew this was going to happen. Thank you for my friends for coming, Richard. Thank you, Paul, Kelly, Gabe. Thank you for coming. Jason, thank you so much for being here. Pastor Allen, Sped, thank you for coming and doing this for me. I very much appreciate it. Right, so I guess I'll start.
My brother James, my brother Brad, my brother Dan. Could not ask for, and this was supposed to be the easy part too. Couldn't ask for better brothers. Couldn't ask for better friends on the entire planet. Everywhere I went in my career, I never stopped thinking about you. Especially when we were serving in Desert Storm, especially. So my mind and my heart were always with you guys all the time. I don't know what else to say other than I couldn't ask for three better people to be my brothers and my best friends on planet Earth. I thank you so much, and I love you guys more than I'd ever be able to tell you in words. Ever. All right, crew. Preston, I am so proud of the young man that you're becoming. You have no idea the amount of work that you put in and the amount of drive and determination that you have, that I'm so proud of you, and I know that your grandpa would be proud of you too. I want you to just keep working hard every day, like you have been, and know that you're going to get to where you want to go. As long as you work at it, you're going to get there and you can accomplish anything you want to accomplish. I love you so much, and I'm so proud to call myself your dad. Joe, do you have, I know, right, you're all embarrassed and smiling and trying to hide, right? You have the sweetest heart, I think, of any human I've ever encountered. And if you can carry that heart like you have it right now, all the way through your adulthood, you are going to be such a phenomenal young man. And you're going to make a wonderful husband someday. I just love you so much. You're an incredible little kid. And I'm proud to be your dad. You, Sarah P.D.P., my little Sarah, you are the apple of my eye. It's as simple as that. Everyone should have a daughter. I wasn't real sure about it. I was a little nervous because I don't know too much about girls, but best thing that ever happened to me was having a daughter. You are absolutely the apple of my eye. I love you with all my heart, and I'm going to protect you your whole entire life. And I'm just proud to call you. I'm just so proud to be your dad. So proud. Now the niceties are over. I'm going to tell you all the story especially for the staff and CEOs in the room. So, Preston's 10 years old, Sarah's 6 years old, Jonah's 4 years old, and I had been serving in the Marine Corps for 20 years. I was a gunny at the time, and I thought I had pretty much figured out. And it's amazing that 3 small people can bring you back and re-ground you to what's important about being a Marine leader. So Saturday afternoon, I had some things to do, so I turned Preston loose on leading. At 10 years old, I need you to lead the 6 and the 4-year-old for me while I'm taking care of business. It wasn't long after that, I hear some shouting from upstairs. Dad, Dad, Dad. I go upstairs, and Sarah says, hey, the toilet won't flush. And I said, well, what happened to the toilet? Well, Jonah threw all of his toys in the toilet. Well, I mean, how do you know he threw all the toys in the toilet? She said, well, I stood there and watched him do it. And so it dawned on me, I thought, where is Preston right now? He's supposed to be watching me. He said, I don't know where he is. So I go to try to find Preston, and I find him up in the backyard. They're upstairs, where he's out in the backyard, walking around the backyard, talking to nobody. Just talking to nobody. And I asked him, I said, we were supposed to be watching these guys, and what are you doing out here? And he said, they're fine when I left. That was his answer to that. So I grabbed the tools, because I'm not going to get this. I try to plunge this toilet. I can't get the toilet unclogged. I go grab my tool. I run downstairs, get my tools. Not a lot of tools. By the time I get back upstairs, so my precious daughter, well, we're in church, so let's just say that she made a deposit while I was gone. In a known clogged toilet. And so I'm losing my mind. And all of a sudden it hits me and I have an epiphany, and I'm 20 years in the Marine Corps and I thought about some things. And I'm trying to figure out, who am I going to kill for this? And it dawns on me that I'm probably the most to blame, because at the highest level, I really put a plan in place that was probably not a good plan to begin with. So, having said that, being at Miles 41 with the interesting structure that we have in Miles 41, maybe it's not the greatest plan that's in place. And I thought, well, I'll get mad at Jonah. Who throws toys in the toilet? Who does that, right? I'll tell you who does that. Lance corporals do that. That's what Lance corporals do. They do it. They do it because they're learning as they go. They're trying to figure it out. They're making their way through the Marine Corps. Then I thought, well, I'll get mad at Sarah then. But that's a big problem, because my NCO I dawned on me, I thought, that's my NCO, and she was the first line of defense to stop the monkey business right then and there, and instead, she made a deposit on top that made the whole situation worse, right? But the good thing is, and we kind of lost this in the Marine Corps, we got to get it back. I had an NCO, she made a decision. It wasn't the best decision, believe me, I had to take that toilet off for her and fix it, I had to figure that all out. But she made a command decision. When I asked her why, she said, I had to go. I had to go. So I just made the call. So she's making decisions and she's learning as she goes. And for the staff NCOs in the room, the last place we need to be is out wandering around the backyard talking to nobody. Like the best thing we can do as staff NCOs is to be present and be around our Marines. And I would just afford you the advice that don't take it for granted, because the farther up the chain you go, the further away from the corporal on the flat line you get. Like my biggest passion in the Marine Corps was spending time with the young Marines, and I feel like I was getting kind of shortchanged, because the farther up the chain I got promoted, I became more and more distant from them to different positions. So I would say definitely for the NCOs, cherish every minute you got that you can spend kneecap to kneecap with your Marines, teaching and training and mentoring them, because you're not always going to have it. And if you're anything like me, and you probably are, because we're all staff NCOs in the Marine Corps, that you're going to look back at and you're going to miss it a little bit. So I'll leave you with that. Okay, I had to break into that story before I move on to my parents could not. My parents are no longer with us, and so they couldn't be here today. And I'm going to thank Jesus Christ for my career through all things. It's Christ who strengthens me, and through all things can be accomplished through Him. He can do everything. But I didn't always know Him, and I had another man in my life that laid a foundation for me to build my life on, a solid foundation to work from, and that was my father, James Beauchamp. I love you, Dad, and I can't wait to see you again. So, once he laid that firm foundation down for me, then I moved on with my life. I always said the greatest thing my father ever did for me was nothing. So I had nothing, nowhere to live, and I was pretty much homeless, living in San Diego. And I would call him regularly and try to get a hold of him and ask him to help me. And he would always ask me, what are you doing for yourself? And I would feed him some line on not making a serious decision in my life to fix my situation. And so he would just tell me, good luck, let me know how it works out for you. And I find out later from my mom, like, he didn't sleep. He didn't sleep a lot at night when he knew I was out there, but he was not going to come and pick me up and enable me to keep on doing something that was not productive. It was not going to be good for me. And I went down to the Marine Corps recruiting office. I walked my vehicle. I had no gas in the vehicle. I ran in out of gas. And I walked to the Marine Corps recruiting office, walked in and just enlisted on the spot, asked the recruiter if I could sleep in the recruiting office. And I got a hold of my dad and I said, I just joined the Marine Corps, and he had worked the entire day, and at like 6 o'clock at night, he just immediately went, rented a car, and drove all the way out to California to pick me up and take me home. So then let me live back at the house until I went to boot camp. And so I always said the greatest thing, it sounds odd, but the greatest thing my father ever did for me was when he did nothing for me until it was time, until I did for me. And I will never forget that. And if I end up being 1/10 of the man my father was, that's 1,000% more than I could have ever hoped for myself. So Dad, I hope that you're proud of me. I worked real hard trying to make you proud. Talk about the foundation. All Marines in the room here, every single one of you has put an imprint on my heart and in my life. Every single one of you has. Every Marine I've come in contact, I like to say, is a brick that I set on top of that foundation, and that has become the house that is my life and that is my career. And every single brick in that house represents a Marine that I was serving with. And so I just thank you all for being a part of that house. And then Thank you for making my house a home. Over the last 3 years, what we have had to endure, I wouldn't want to endure that with anybody else on planet Earth other than you. So in 2000, I was deployed, and I showed up on the deployment and didn't really have everything right. Wasn't working my life real right in the Marine Corps, and God had a plan for that. God set up a divine appointment for me overseas and introduced me to Kennedy, and we met over Genesis chapter 5. If any of you read it, it's the most boring book in the entire Bible. It's just a genealogy, but that was just God's sense of humor, I guess. This is how I'm going to hook it up, and this is how this appointment is going to. This is how it's going to work, and I will never question God's plan ever, because His plan is what brought you to me, and I love Him with all my heart, and I hope we live forever. And with that, I'm just going to say, God bless everyone in this room. God bless the United States of America, and most of all, God bless the United States Marine Corps. Thank you.
All right.
To Master Gunnery Sergeant Beauchamp's wife, Katie, daughter, Sarah, and coins are being presented to his sons, Preston and Jonah, in recognition of their loyal support and dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of Anchors Away in the Marines Hymn.
Sir, this concludes today's ceremony. Carry on. All right, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Please remain seated for the passing of Old Glory and the execution of the watch. Detail, post.
Detail, hold. All about face.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of higher learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped, I am loved, and I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Aragon Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, in the Persian Gulf, and a score of places long forgotten by all but those who were there with me. I was there. I led my soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. I followed them and watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill in Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired. But my Marines cheered me, and I was proud. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of countries that I have helped set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country, and it is by those whom I have served in battle with. It hurts, but I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the bonds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space. I have been a silent witness to all of America's finest hours, but my finest hour is when I am torn in strips, to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle when I fly at half-mast to honor my soldiers, my sailors, my airmen, my Marines, and when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the graveside of her fallen son or daughter. I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God, long may I wave.
For 30 years, this Marine has stood the watch. While some of us lay about our bunks at night, this Marine has stood the watch. While others of us were attending schools, this Marine has stood the watch. And yes, before some of us were even born, this Marine has stood the watch. As our families watched the storm clouds of war brewing on the horizons of history, he stood the watch. This Marine often looked ashore and saw his family needing guidance, but he knew he must stay, for he had the watch. For 30 years, this Marine has stood watch so that his fellow countrymen could sleep soundly in safety, knowing that he had the watch. This Marine has led, guided, and trained many Marines. Today, we are here to say that the watch stands relieved. Relieved by those you have led, guided, and trained. Master Gunnery Sergeant Beauchamp. Today, you stand relieved. I have the watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony.
sat in that long line of barber chairs, and the sergeant asked him, "Son, would you like to keep your hair?" He said, "Yes, sir," as he heard those clippers buzz and hum. And the sergeant said, "Well, hold out your hand, 'cause here it comes. Simplify, do or die, so gung-ho to go and pay the price. Here's to leathernecks, devil dogs and jarheads, Paris Island in July. Simplify." I sleep in my bed instead of a foxhole. I've never heard my boss tell me to lock and load. Ain't no bullet holes in the side of my SUV, because the kid next door just shipped out overseas. Simplify, or die, so gung-ho to go and pay the price. Here's to leathernecks, devil dogs and jarheads, and Paris Island in July. Simplify. For the few that wear the dress blues, haircut high and tight, who are proud to be the first ones in the fight. Simplify. Simplify. Do or die. So gung-ho to go and pay the price. Here's to leathernecks, devil dogs and jarheads, Paris Island in July. Never leave a man behind. A Marine for life. Simplify. There's a story that my daddy tells religiously, like clockwork every time he sees an opening in a conversation about the way things used to be. Well, I just roll my eyes and make a beeline for the door, but I'd always end up starry-eyed, cross-legged on the floor, hanging on to every word. Man, the things I heard. It was harder times and longer days, 5 miles of school uphill both ways. We were cane switch raised, a dirt floor poor. Of course, that was back before the war. Yeah, your uncle and I made quite a pair, flying F-15s through hostile air. He went down, but they missed me by a hair. He'd always stop right there and say, "That's something to be proud of. That's a life you can hang your hat on. That's your chin held high as a tear falls down. A gut sucked in, a chest stuck out like a small town flag a flying, or a newborn baby crying in the arms of the woman that you love. That's something to be proud of." Son graduating college, that was Mama's dream. But I was on my way to anywhere else when I turned 18. 'Cause when you got a fast car, you think you got everything. learn quick those GTOs don't run on faith. And I ended up broken down in some town north of LA, working maximum hours for minimum wage. Well, I fell in love, next thing I know, babies came, the car got sold. Sure do miss that old hot rod, sure saved gas in them foreign jobs. Dad, I wonder if I ever let you down, if you're ashamed how I turned out. Well, he lowered his voice, then he raised his brow, said, let me tell you right now,
that's something to be proud of. That's a life you can hang your hat on. You don't need to make a million, just be thankful to be working. If you're doing what you're able, and putting food there on the table, and providing for the family that you love, that's something to be proud of.
and if all you ever really do is the best you can, well, you did it, man.
That's something to be proud of. That's a life you can hang your hat on. That's a chin held high as a tear falls down. Guts up in, just look out like a small town flag a flying, or a newborn baby crying in the arms of the woman that you love. That's something to be proud of.
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 I don't know why I left.
I don't know why I left,
But I know it won't be long.
but I know it won't be long.
No, it won't be long
No, it won't be long.
till I get back home. They gave me a green uniform and black boots for my feet. 18 and wild as hell, I thought it would be neat. They put me on a plane to some strange and foreign land. I said goodbye to Mom and Dad and hello to Uncle Sam. Once I was a soldier, not afraid to die. Now I'm a little older and not afraid to cry. Every day I'm thankful just to be alive. When you've been where I've been, any kind of life is paradise. Christmas of '89 was a lonely time for me. Panama was probably fine, but it was nothing like Tennessee. Never thought the day would come and I might have to kill a man. I did not sleep a wink that night, but we won for Uncle Sam. Once I was a soldier, not afraid to die. Now I'm a little older, not afraid to cry. Every day I'm thankful just to be alive. When you've been where I've been, any kind of life is paradise.
kind of life is paradise.
Beauchamp, what's happening, man? Hey, so I hear you're retiring and you're 30 years in. That's awesome. Man, I've loved you for so long. Think of you as a brother, as my best friend. Can't believe it's been like over 35 years. Know that I love you and thank you so much for your service and your family's dedication to you. All these years putting up with all that stuff that the Marine Corps deals with, has you guys go through. And Katie, you know that you were in. God bless you guys. I know you've gone through some crazy stuff. Beauchamp, I remember when we had all kinds of fun time and falling asleep on our parents' bedroom or family room floors, watching Steven Seagal and Von Damme movies, falling asleep, and then we did that on our own floors, falling asleep. And just other stuff going on. Visiting you, you coming out with your daughter and visiting when we first moved back into our home. That was awesome. You do that again. I'm so glad your brothers could go out there and spend this time with you, celebrate these 30 years that you put into the Marine Corps. That is awesome. What else? Just so many things. Meet you at college and all the dumb stuff we did there. What else? Again, just so many good memories from going out to San Diego when I got restationed over at MCRD and me asleep at the wheel when you're on your motorcycle, that pink and green thing that you painted, and I'm just asleep at the wheel, man. We're just falling asleep at rest stops and getting you to wake me up and driving on, and that was crazy. So again, just thank you so much for your friendship over these last few years. Again, and finding Christ, that's another big, huge, most ultimate thing that happened to both of us. Just finding Jesus in our lives and knowing that we're going to spend eternity together as well. So amazing.
Champ, miss you and love you, brother. 30 years, congratulations, man. Couldn't have happened to a better person. I know it's a long road. I couldn't make it 30, man. I had to stop at 20. I just wasn't going to do it. All of our times together, I really appreciate it. Love you like a brother. Wish I could be there for you this time. Just ain't going to happen with the current situation, man. I'm sorry about that. We have to adjust to the times. Speaking of adjusting to the times, you might notice what I have in front of me here. There was a time that I went, I don't know, probably several years that I didn't have a bowl in the house. I had a good bowl, and then it got broken playing some hockey or whatever. And all of a sudden, I was at WTI, somebody brought me out a bowl. I've been using it ever since. I mean, I drank my whiskey out of this thing. I eat my cereal out of this. I can make a casserole. So many functions. Just so useful to have a really good bowl. It's one of my best memories, man. I love you so much. I wish you well. Congratulations, and I hope the rest of your life is as wonderful as it's been up to this point. All right, brother? Hope I get to see you again someday. Congratulations. Bye.
Well, Michael, congratulations. 30 years. Where did 30 years go, right? What a great accomplishment. A hearty congratulations to you and Katie on a hard-earned and very well-deserved retirement. It's something to be proud of, Michael. And you've selflessly served and sacrificed for your country and your fellow Americans. And you're not done yet. You're going to be a teacher, and you're going to continue to selflessly serve others and keep giving back to Americans. So I'm proud of you. That's it's really great. But let's talk about your 30 years. Just want to focus on my time with you. You know, I took you to Afghanistan with me. I asked you to step up and do officer level work, which required a lot more writing, a lot more strategic planning, and it's a tall order, due to the shortage of officers when we got over there. And you answered the bell, and you did it incredibly well. And you made my life easier. And I think more important than that, what I remember about that time together is your very wry and very dry sense of humor. You kept me laughing. You know, even on the crappy days, I could always count on you to bring a smile to my face. And thanks for keeping Doug Leach in line too, because that was a full-time job. I know, but good job there. So anyway, Katie, my Katie and I are very proud of you and your Katie. And I'll tell you, it's humbling for me, and extremely honored to have served with you. It was a privilege to work together and serve together. But most importantly, as I close this video, I am honored and humbled to call you my friend. And so, my friend, until we see each other in Texas, which Mike, Kate, and I will come to Texas and see you guys. Congratulations. Great job, Michael. Proud of you. Proud of everything you've done, and just tickled for you guys. You'll enjoy retirement. Retirement is 6 Saturdays and a Sunday, buddy. So enjoy it. Take some time off. Spend some time with the family. And best wishes to you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Greetings from Marine Corps Station Cherry Point, North Carolina. To everybody down in Texas, helping to celebrate Mike and his career, first and foremost, I hope everything finds you healthy and well. COVID-19 and the pandemic has had such a huge impact on family, friends, and loved ones that I just want to say thank you and let you know how grateful I am that you guys are gathering, taking a pause in your busy lives to help Mike and his family celebrate as his time in uniform quickly comes to an end. What's that? I'm sorry, I thought I heard Preston and Sarah and Jonah in the background shouting about how excited they are to have Dad around a little bit more often these days. You guys should be excited. Katie, thank you so much for reaching out, allowing me to say just a couple words. You know how much it means to me, and I thank you for it. As our focus is rightly on the health and well-being of everyone as we adjust life to the pandemic and the new norm, I would be less than truthful if I didn't say it saddens me that I can't be there with you to help send Mike off with all the pomp and circumstance he deserves after such a long career. Mike, I'll carry regret for a long time that I'm not there with you today. I hope you forgive me. I suspect somebody either has or is about to talk about everything Mike's accomplished in his career, from the day he showed up on the yellow footprints until he is where he sits today. So I'll skip that. You're welcome, Katie. I'll save you a couple minutes in the ceremony. I just want to talk to Master Gunnery Sergeant Beauchamp. Mike, you and I used to sit around and talk about how much we just wanted to affect and influence the lives of those we served with and those we served around. And I need to ensure that you never underestimate just how much of an impact and influence you've had, not the least of which is on me. February 2013 to June 2014. That's all the time I had serving directly with you. 16 months or 484 days. That's it, and I feel cheated. You weren't done with me. You weren't done coaching, teaching, mentoring, and shaping me yet, and I know I could have used much more. But what do you say as a leader in the Marine Corps who retires after so many years? You could go a million different ways. Talk about the exercises and deployments, the goods, the bads, the highs, the lows, warrior nights out on the beach, or maybe just putting up Christmas decorations in the CO's office, knowing the reaction it was going to have. For me, I just want to talk about the Marine and the person. Mike, you have a completely unassuming way about you. You're authentic in everything you do, and you're humble to a fault. And quite frankly, I can't think of 3 more important qualities in a leader, a mentor, and a friend. Technically, you're smarter than the rest of us. Always had Overwatch for me when we were together, and not once did you hesitate to walk in, close the door, give me that look and say, "Hey boss, you're missing it," and then quickly guide me back on course. Mike, I quite simply couldn't be where I am today without you. So think about the thousands and thousands of Marines and what they would say if they could be there with you today. I had 484 days with you. Think about how much time you spent with all the other Marines, sailors, and family members. Be proud of that. I know I am. To the Marines and family and friends that are out there, take a picture, tell some stories, tell some more stories, because you aren't going to find many like Mike Beauchamp in your lifetime, and everybody in that crowd knows that. Katie, enjoy your husband. Preston, Sarah, and Jonah, I miss you guys. Enjoy your dad. You guys deserve to have him to yourselves for a while, so enjoy it. Mike, I sincerely hope our paths have not crossed for the last time. Congratulations on an illustrious career as a Marine. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you've done for the Marine Corps, the Marine sailors and family who serve within it, and everything you've done for me personally. I hope you know just how much you mean to me, both professionally and personally. Enjoy your retirement. You deserve it. Mike, I love you. Semper Fidelis.
See all the shirtless body shots in me.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to make sure you went out big, all right? Mike,
I gotta build a new house now.
yeah. It's a table like you'd asked. Haven't served with you for, yeah, come on up, sir. Yeah. Haven't served with you for a long time, but I've known of you. 619 community is a very small community, right? And depending on what coast you're on, you don't always get a chance to interact with each other for as much as you would like. But there are times when we get together at WTI and other conferences that we would meet. And because there's only 85 of us, we're a very tight community, even though we're stretched out across the United States and the globe. And again, you hear things, you know what I mean? You know the real good ones. And I never heard anything but good things about you, Mike. So it's a shame that I didn't get to spend more time side by side with you, because I think there could have been so much more that you could have taught me. But as a token of our appreciation, we just wanted to get you something as our thanks for all your service to this great nation and to the Marines. It's been a pleasure, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Ricky. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies, I appreciate that. Marines, everyone that was involved in that, that's legit. Just finally got my house built. I have to build another house now. I don't know where we put that, but I have a pretty good idea where I'm at already. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for enduring that presentation, and thank you for doing that. That was pretty awesome. The guy talking about the bowl, that's my guy here. That's the finest Marine I ever served with. And, we were getting ready to deploy, and I moved in with him in his apartment for a time. And we're big hockey guys, so we were playing hockey out in the parking lot of his apartment, and I took a slap shot, and the puck went through the parking lot, right through the front door of his apartment that was open, when it crossed his living room and into his kitchen and destroyed the only bowl that he had that he was talking about that he ate out of. That was like his bowl that he did everything out of, and I just destroyed it. And that was the best shot I ever made. That was the only shot I ever made. That was awesome. I hadn't thought about that story in a long, long time, so that was something else. But, thank you everyone for coming. I appreciate that. I love you all, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much.
I don't know why I left.
I don't know why I left.
But I know it won't be long.
But I know it won't be long.
No, it won't be long.
No, it won't be long.
Till I get back home. Gave me a green uniform and black boots for my feet. 18 and wild as hell, I thought it would be neat. They put me on a plane to some strange and foreign land. I said goodbye to Mom and Dad and hello to Uncle Sam. Once I was a soldier, not afraid to die. Now I'm a little paradise. Christmas of '89 was a lonely time for me. Panama was probably fine, but it was nothing like Tennessee. I never thought the day would come when I might have to kill a man. I did not sleep a wink that night, but we won for Uncle Sam. Once I was a soldier, not afraid to die. Now I'm a little older, not afraid to cry. Every day I'm thankful just to be alive. When you've been where I've been, any kind of life is paradise. Been where I've been, any kind of life is paradise. It's paradise. Paradise.